Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I'm going to be showing off Sfynx. This is by David Purkis, and it is published by Impatience. That is the imprint that is Shadi Torbey's new publishing house that's also publishing all of the Oniverse games. So Sfynx is by a different designer, again David Purkis, but it has that same kind of philosophy of being a tight little game, very puzzly, really working a specific set of mechanisms as hard as possible, and I'm going to show you how that works. So this is a setup of Sfynx. This is a solo or cooperative, if you want, game where you are basically trying to enter through a secret doorway by solving riddles, but in order to make sure that you're truly worthy, the Sfynx are making sure that those riddles are a lot harder to solve than you would think. So we have this timer. We are going to basically be taking turns, flipping these little tokens over to mess with us, using our actions to the best of our abilities, gaining rewards, and trying to manipulate these tiles so that riddles are solved. So what is a riddle? These are the riddles. You get these different patterns. So basically the way this game works is that you can choose your difficulty. And when you choose your difficulty, you're mixing different cards together to make this deck. This deck has 9 cards in it. You're trying to solve all 9 in order to successfully complete the game. So this is kind of like a medium-low difficulty. So I have just deck 1, which is 3 shapes, deck 3, which is 4 shapes, and then also some of these 4-dot cards, which you'll notice have a no Sfynx sign up at the top, and then 4 shapes. So basically the way that works is that in order to solve a riddle, I need to move these tiles around so that these shapes are in the correct order. That can be done from left to right or from top to bottom, but you can't go backwards. So for example, here I have this crab. I'll need to get the sun here. I'll need to get the bug over here in order to complete the riddle. In addition, you also have cursed and restored sides of the tiles. So only some tiles start on this light gray side, and the rest have this kind of vine, kind of creepy, infected, cursed side. And I'm going to have to be flipping them as part of the game as well in order to be able to solve a riddle. So basically, if I can get all the tiles in order, and I can get them on their restored side, then I get to solve the riddle, remove the card, replace it from the deck, and I get to choose a reward. And I'm trying to do all 9 of the cards in this deck before I run out of time over here. So I'm just going to play a couple turns so you can basically see what's going on. So I'm just going to play a couple of turns instead of like a whole playthrough because I like to keep these videos short. But essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to use my 2 basic actions and then 1 of my special actions. So when you do your basic actions, you get 2 options. One is that you can flip a card from its curse side to its reward side. So like if I did want to flip the crab over, that would be 1 basic action, and I would flip this over to show that I'd taken a basic action. The other basic action is that I can just swap any 2 tiles that are adjacent to each other, as in they share a side, not a corner. So I could swap these 2, I could swap these 2, but you can't go diagonally. In addition to my 2 basic actions on a turn, I will also take 1 special action. These are a little bit different each game. There's 6 tiles for special actions in the box. You only play with 4 per game. And then as I play these, so from turn to turn, these I'll flip over and then flip back because they're the basic actions. But when I'm doing special actions, they flip and they stay flipped until I reach these little dividing lines in the timer. So you don't get access to your favorite special action every single turn. The other thing to note, that's why it's called Sfynx, is that these Sfynx tiles here are wild. So one of the things that affects the difficulty of the game is whether or not you can use a Sfynx when you're doing the configuration on your tile. So these all allow it, but this card that I showed you earlier that has a no Sfynx sign up top means that I have to get these symbols specifically, and I cannot use the Sfynx to do it. So that's pretty much the basics. Let's just go ahead and take a couple turns so you can see how it works. All right, so I'm going to lose this bottom riddle. I'm going to show you why in a minute. So this isn't necessarily the one I want to work on. Let's say that I want to work on this one, and we'll just kind of go a couple turns, make it happen, and then call it a video. So watching me play this is agonizing because I have to sit there and stare at it in silence forever. I actually already had to cut a huge part of this video out, which is why there's not going to be a full playthrough. Like, that's just mean to me and you. But let's say that I think I can get this. So I would have to get these 4 symbols from top to bottom. I can use a Sfynx, which I might want to do because this bird is kind of up here. That's tough. I have a Sfynx down here. I have this first symbol I've got the second symbol. This one's not too far away, and then I could use a Sfynx for the bird, maybe. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I want to do a couple of vertical swaps. So I'm going to use my special action to do that twice. So 1 and 2. So now that I've done my special, I can do 2 basic actions. You can only get 1 special in per turn. So let's go ahead and maybe flip this one to make this on its restored side, because I'm going to need that. And then let's flip this to swap these 2 tiles. And then on the next turn, I'm going to get a diagonal, so I know I could do the swap, restore this this kind of fox shape, and then I will have my riddle solved. All right, so now that I've done all of my 3 actions for my 1 turn, it's time to advance the timer. So we'll flip this. And basically what this means is that I have to flip restored tiles over to their cursed side, and I have to do a number of them that matches the hourglass. So right now it's only 1, it's not that bad. So I just have to flip one of these back over to its cursed side. So I don't need this one in any of the current riddles, so I'm just going to flip this. There we go. We've done what we're going to do. We've done the one thing. And that's it. If you get a whirlwind, basically it does different things. So you start on this side. It basically means that you rotate the riddles around, which is why I didn't want to focus too much on this one right away, because I thought I might lose it. But then you can also have one that makes you just flip tiles back over to their cursed side. All right, so that's the whole turn. And then I would flip these back over, and it's time for turn number 2. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's do a special action. We're going to swap these 2. I get a diagonal swap off that special action. Very good. And then I'm going to use 1 basic action to flip this. And now, boom, I actually have a solved riddle. So matches, 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 and Sfynxes are wild. So I would get to take this card. The market will refresh. And I also get to grab one of these rewards. So I actually really like this one quite a bit. I now have a reward card that's going to let me do 2 diagonal movements, and that could be super handy. And then I still have 1 action left. Maybe I want to think about the next riddle I'd like to solve. So what I'm kind of thinking here is that even if this isn't going to come up right away, maybe I do want to start moving stuff around a little bit. So what I can do is flip this over, and then I'll just swap these 2. Maybe start bringing them closer. And that would be a full turn. And so basically the game will proceed in this fashion where I'm trying to flip things over, reconfigure things on the board until I run out of time. But if you're looking for a puzzly game where you are manipulating tiles and just trying to get everything arranged just so, then this is a game that you would enjoy. So again, this is Sfynx. It's designed by David Purkis. It's from Impatience, which is Shouty Torbe's studio. So if you like small, compact solo games that really work a specific mechanism very, very hard, then Sfynx very well could be up your alley. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, maybe support me on Patreon. Keep the lights on. And most of all, happy gaming.